I'm Jake Sanderson.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
You're Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, Brady Tkachuk scored in his return from the Olympics. Actually, only Olympians had points in this game, but it turns out to be a 2-1 overtime loss for the Ottawa Senators against the Detroit Red Wings. Welcome to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Jack Richardson. The postcast always brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Check out the GCP where the vibes are free. 779 Bank Street. The tickets for the shuttle are now available for the March games, including March 14th, when we will all be boots on the bus. So come hang out with us at the Glebe Central Pub and get your tickets at GlebeCentralPub.com. Jack, it feels like the same story over and over this season. Senators play well. They dominate the first period. The other team's goalie plays great. And then somehow they find a way to come out without 2 points.
Yeah, I feel like you could take every postcast, every stream, every recap show you guys have done the next day of this season, and just any episode. You could take any postcast this year, and we could apply it to a lot of this game tonight. It was more of the same, and unfortunately for the Ottawa Senators, more of the same this season is frustrating loss after frustrating loss. That's another game where I think they gave away a point. I'm not saying Detroit played bad. I actually say one of their better performances against the Sens this season so far, Detroit, overall. But the inability to finish chances is just getting out of proportion. They had so many looks. We'll get into it, but a frustrating loss on a night where the Bruins won, so they are now 7 points out of a playoff spot after game one, after the break. Mute's up there, Ross.
I'm the Ottawa Senators, dude. I can't figure it out. Now, to be fair, 3 weeks off. Deep breath, deep breath. That's what I feel like Sens fans need right now, myself included, because if you zoom out, you're like, okay, they're 8-3-3 in their last however many games, 14, math guy. But at the same time, it's like you need more right now if you're Ottawa, because you pissed away so many points. And half of me wants to say it was a point earned, but the other half, it's like, come on, like, let's at least bear down on our chances here and get one. John Gibson played great. Credit to him. He was awesome. But in front of the home crowd, you get one goal off a bang play where it's a block shot off a Sanderson shot on the power play, and Brady just rips it into the back of the net. That's all the offense you can muster up in this game. Just feels to me like it was an unfortunate result, but we'll hear from Martian's going to join us later. He was boots on the ground tonight because I am curious about the mood in the building. We'll get into the Olympians, them coming back. But like I mentioned off the top, it is pretty crazy. I know it was a 2-1 game, so it's not like there were a ton of points to go around, but only Olympians got points. It was U.S. Olympian Brady Tkachuk from Jake Sanderson and German Olympian Tim Stützle. Then it was U.S. Olympian Dylan Larkin from Swedish Olympian Lucas Raymond and German Olympian Mo Seider. And then it was Larkin for Raymond for the game winner. Let's get to that game winner right off the bat because, 3-on-3, it went a little bit longer than we've seen at times this year. It was almost 2 minutes into the extra frame. And I think it felt longer because there was, 3, if not 4 whistles. Couple good stick-on pucks by the Red Wings defensively to cause offensive zone faceoffs for Ottawa. But overall, it was just like, it feels like Ottawa doesn't really have a plan in 3-on-3. Like they were content to just kind of loop back, but then not really attack ever.
They're really complacent, man, in 3-on-3. And I think, I like that you mentioned that's the longest it felt like it's gone. I don't know if Pinto and Greg have seen an OT shift this season. And I'm not I think they should be out there. They're the top guys. They produce offense when they need to, and you can't just rely on 2 lines in overtime. It's too tiring. So they got to be out there at some point. But because all these overtimes have been so quick all season, I don't think they've been out there. And the overtime play, Ross, like we can hum and haw about this game. It was frustrating. Gibson made some saves off the posts. Like they couldn't bury it, and they did a good job defending, I'd say. Like Olmark had some traffic, but he never saw grade A chances until they were going in the net. This game, I thought they defended pretty well, despite a higher shot count against. But in overtime, I think we could pick apart their overtime play all season. They are 3-8 in overtime this year, Ross. They are 0-5 at home. No overtime wins at home this season so far. I don't know how many they had last year. I think they had 10 overtime wins last season. 10. Like the amount of points that they're pissing away by missed opportunities in 3-on-3, but I actually say that they generated enough at 5-on-5 during the game today to win, but in overtime, they didn't generate anything. They had nothing. The looks they had were not dangerous. Cousins, like I don't mind taking the shot there, but like we wasn't in all alone, like just plays that they're if they go in, you're saying, oh, what a shot. Like if Tkachuk scores there, it's here we go, and a completely different feeling about that game. But time and time again this year in overtime, they've just laid an egg, and it's cost them. I think we can point to goaltending, point to everything else, special teams, whatever it is, if they miss the playoffs this season. But 3-8 in overtime, Ross, that's not a playoff team.
No, I think that's where you have to really bear down. Now, they are better when it comes to all-encompassing overtime because they're 3-0 in the shootout, but how many games end up going to the shootout? Not many, so 3. It doesn't really matter. 3, exactly, out of math guy.
And those 14. Were all in like November. They haven't had a shootout game in a long time. I think they were.
I think the last one was the win in Vegas. I think it was the last shootout they had
in November.
Season. Yeah. Seattle was a home shootout that they got the win in. I can't recall the third one there, but it's just, man, you just want that one extra play, that one extra get it to the net, that one extra wow moment that the Sens just didn't have tonight. They were perfectly fine, but they didn't have that extra that they needed to win this game.
They had no finish and no bearing down at the net. And it's funny that it's just the Olympians that convert on that goal, but like that, let's be honest, that was a bit of a lucky bounce. It was a Sanderson shot off a shin pad right to Brady in the slot. If that doesn't happen, let's say everything falls as it does, they get shut out this game. They didn't generate anything. They just had no finish. And it's everyone on the team, all the forwards, just no finish tonight.
Nothing at 5-on-5, right? Their only goal coming in the power play situation there, and watching overtime as a whole. And like, I guess before we get to overtime as a whole, like the third period, they were on their heels. Detroit had a lot more offensive zone time in early on in the game. Ottawa had all the offensive zone time. So it felt like, I don't know if they were tired. I don't know if they were just getting to the end of their rope at the end of the game, where it was like they've done so much they couldn't figure it out. And at that point, you just kind of play not to lose rather than to win. But that's the attitude that I got from them, was it wasn't going to be there. They weren't going to take it upon themselves for it to be their night. And that's really infuriating to me, because they have the talent at 3-on-3, and we've seen them come off. Their last game was an overtime win in Philadelphia. 2 of their 3 wins this year in overtime have been in Philadelphia. The other one was in front of us here in Winnipeg. And other than that, it's just been way too many losses. You're not going to go undefeated in overtime, so I'm not going to say they'd be in a playoff spot, but they'd be a hell of a lot closer than they are now. And that 2-on-1 where Dylan Cousins shoots it, like, I'm sorry, but slow down, dude. Slow down. Drake Batherson's coming. And how often are 3-on-3 goals scored where it's a 2-on-1 pass over and they've got the open net? He decided to go McDavid mode in overtime in the gold medal game, where he's going to take it to the net no matter what. Use your teammates. And that, I'm not saying it cost them the game, because who knows the way Gibson was playing. Maybe he stops it anyways, but I felt like that was a low hockey IQ play there on a 2-on-1 rush where they had a chance to win the game.
Yeah, and like he had way more speed than Batherson, and obviously it's a split second, and you could see Cousins after was so mad at himself. But it's funny, like I talked about, if they put one of those in, what a different feeling you and I have right now, right? Like if Cousins scores there, I'm talking about this is Cousins' best game of the season, Ross. Like he was awesome, I thought, tonight, but he couldn't score and he couldn't bury his chances. And that's the reason they don't have an extra point tonight, because he wasn't able to score. And I'm with you. I didn't like that shot selection, but I think it's just encompassing of them being desperate in overtime because they haven't had the bounces or the breaks. Like you said, I mean, all of their goals, there are 3 of them. It's not hard to think of them. The 2 in Philly for Timmy, like it was a 2-on-1 backdoor. Batherson passes it to him. That's a great chance. 2-on-1 with Tkachuk and Stützle. One-timer, great pass. Tkachuk scores in Winnipeg. And then Timmy goes superhero mode in Philly in their last game before the break. That's what's happened in overtime. There's no generating, no big momentum saves, sending them the other way. I want to get into goaltending here because time and time again, I know I'm not blaming a goalie when the team scores 1 goal. I'm like, never. I don't want to do that. But it's too often this season the Sens do not have the better goalie in net. He got outplayed again.
He looked bad. Like there were a number of rebounds that just got cleared out of the way, but then he let right into the slot.
Puck control behind the net was sloppy from Ullmark. Like, it just didn't feel comfortable all night for him. And that's where I'm talking. Like, I know it's a breakaway. You're never going to say your goalie needs to make a save there. But Pilsy and I were talking about on the stream for that disallowed goal, Ross. It was a 2-on-1. You just need a save. You need a momentum save somewhere, man. And that's what you look to a guy like Ullmark for. And it's just tough. He couldn't come up with that breakaway save. It was a nice move by Larkin, but you never know. If he makes a save there, send it the other way for Greg. I don't know, man. Like, that's what overtime is.
And it was just like the high danger chances tonight. It just felt like we're all in favor of Ottawa. Like, can you think of one big save that Ullmark made?
No. And I think a good way to put it, shout out my other buddy who was at the game today, said Gibson at least 5, like, great, wow, what a save. None for Ullmark, just none.
Yeah.
So again, not like his worst game of the year. The numbers are fine. He made some decent, like, calm the play down saves, I thought, in the third period, especially.
What from
you need
like
more. You need more out of Ullmark, bro. Like,
literally, like, the only one that really comes to mind is Johansson taking a muffin from the point with no traffic.
Yeah,
he gloves it down. Like, it was, I could stop those pucks.
They're not even hard ones. I'm pointing them out because they were kind of running around in their own zone, and like he freezes it, and you're kind of like, okay, like, just calm down, But like, that's it. That's kind of it. It was 20 shots on goal, 2 goals against. You usually take that, but when the offense isn't there, this team used to get shutouts. They had 10 shutouts last season, and they have, I think, 1 or 2 this year.
There's a couple players, and again, we're not going to go full sky is falling. It's one game, and it's a game that most of the guys haven't played for 3 weeks since their last game. So there are some disturbing trends. So we'll get to those next. We'll break down the game. Brady Tkachuk was awesome tonight, too. So we'll get into all the storylines. Martian will join us, Boots on the Ground Report. You're listening to the Postcast presented by Locked On Senators. The Postcast is brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Need a night out with friends? Want to go watch the game? Do it at the Glebe Central Pub. You can head there at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you, and I'm pulling it up right now because there are tickets available for all March games. There's only 3 of them, so make them count. March 11th against the Montreal Canadiens, and then the back-to-back weekend games. We will be boots on the bus for both of them. Saturday matinee 1 o'clock game, 11:30 bus from 779 Bank Street. We're going to be there right from open, 10 a.m. We're going to do some fun promos with breakfast. You can get there, have some breakfast, and then go see Sens hockey. Does it get any better than that? Oh, man, I'm fired up. So get your tickets online there, GlebeCentralPub.com, and the online store, the Sens Bus, right there. They've also got something going on every night of the week. Like, that's a matinee on Saturday, Jack. And then we got live music on Saturday night. Like, that's going to be unreal.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. That live music on Saturday is so nice. And every time I take the Glebe Central Pub shuttle, I'm reminded how great it is. Like, the way back from the rink, there is no better way to get back downtown than the Glebe Central Pub shuttle. I can't say enough about it. Best way to get out there.
So head there today, GlebeCentralPub.com. Shout out to Timmy Whalen, our guy. He's on the bus right now. We appreciate that. And we appreciate you all for supporting us by supporting our good friends at the Glebe Central Pub. The Postcast is also brought to you tonight by FanDuel. Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? Well, FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience paid for. If you're looking on the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock it in. Now, not only can your pick win, but you can win a trip to the NBA Finals. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered to win your trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Jack, 2-1. The Senators lose in overtime, an unfortunate way to end the first home game for the Ottawa Senators out of the Olympic break. And not only that, this is their only home game until March 11th against the Montreal Canadiens. Senators about to embark on a road trip that starts in Toronto, then goes Edmonton, Calgary, Seattle, and Vancouver before coming back home. So it was just a quick dip at the CTC. Unfortunate they couldn't get a better result.
Yeah, unfortunate. And I mentioned the overtime record, man, like 0-5 in OT. How great is an overtime win at home? Like, you get to see that. Building is electric. All the
Not
people
to
wait
brag.
for it.
I did get to see an OT win this year.
You did, but at the CTC.
I know.
I'm trying to think.
There was a pop in Winnipeg. There was a pop
Oh, yeah.
when he
I
scored
remember
that.
It was a great overtime goal, but just think of how much you cling to like those moments and how galvanizing they are. Like Detroit right now, their captain scored 2 goals, huge goal in overtime. They're probably on top of the moon right now in Detroit. Like just the vibes it gives you. So I feel bad that the performances at home, I think they're 14-10-5 at the CTC this season, Ross. So maybe getting on the road will be good because it's not awful, but they certainly have been better at home in years past.
Well, last season they were 27-11-3 at home.
They're one of the best teams in the league at the CTC, and this year they're probably one of the worst at home, I'd say.
Yeah. Fans are leaving the CTC losers more than winners by 1 now. 14-10-5 is their record. So you leave 15 times out of 29 on the losing side of it. And if we go through the overtime goal, it's an offensive zone faceoff. 11 seconds later. Yeah. 11 seconds later, it's in the back of your net.
So they were 60% in the dot tonight, Ross. 60%. That's dominant. 39 faceoff wins to 26 for Detroit. Like not even close, right? But 2-goal game for the Red Wings wins it. Like you mentioned in overtime, offensive zone draw, back of your net in 10 seconds. Brutal. Can't happen. On the power play for Detroit, for Larkin's first goal, they lose a draw. Zug gets a little lost, sticks in the lane. Larkin scores, powers it through, whatever. I think this team wins too many faceoffs. They're one of the best in the league. I think the best. They win. They don't know what to do when they lose a draw. Is that a big brain take, or it's not the first time it's happened. They've lost, games in playoffs because of lost faceoffs. I can think of game 3. I was there for an overtime loss. Like I think that the faceoff play after losing the draw is not something they're totally used to. And I think they need to work on that.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And how you're going to set up defensively in 3-on-3 might be different than in 5-on-5. And I think when it goes to that wall and Ridley Gregg's already going there, I think Pinto's got to back off. Like he has to respect Dylan Larkin's speed, and Larkin just burns him. And also, credit to Larkin, man. He can wheel. Like there's no way around that. And then you get a bad pinch by Shabbat, swing and a miss at the puck on the wall. And at that point, Larkin's gone. Now, I did see some people saying that the puck was far enough out for Ullmark to come Dominic Hasek poke check it. I completely disagree with that, especially with Ullmark not being the fastest guy.
No,
like, he's not
I don't
want
want
to get out there in a hurry. Like he's not Dominic Hasek wearing the smallest shoulder pads and just flying out there with small. Ullmark's a big make a save because he's in the right position type goalie. That to me is not the problem. And he is coming in with so much speed. Like that's an elite move. Like I'm not blaming Ullmark necessarily on the winner. You want your goalie to make the saves they shouldn't make. And that's what it comes down to. But what pissed me off more about Ullmark tonight was the rebounds. And it just did not seem like he was ready to go. And maybe that can be blamed on only his 3rd game in the last 60 days. Sure, that's fine. Let's see what he does on Saturday. But I'm just going to tell you right now, my locked-on player is going to be Linus Ullmark for Saturday because that's the scene of the crime. That's the game where he got pulled, and then we didn't see him for a month. So this is going to be another game in Toronto. They're 2 points, or they're 1 point back you right now. You have to win that game on Saturday night. Like there's no way around it. So it's just unfortunate because, you can't blame the goalie when they let in 2 goals and you only score 1. Like you need more goals. And I'm almost ready to have the conversation about Drake Batherson.
I was going to go right there, Ross, because we're talking top guys. They get on the score sheet tonight. They were at the Olympics. Next offensive guy is Drake Batherson, and he's just fallen off a cliff. And I was obviously first game back from the break. Like maybe he has a great week next week and we kind of forget about this, but the play before the break was very concerning from Batherson, and he looks the same. He looked the same tonight. The foot speed's gone, but he's also fighting the puck every time it's on his stick. And this is supposed to be one of their best playmakers, man. Like he's just fighting it, and they can't get any offense on Timmy's wings right now. Like Stutzla was obviously sick tonight. Like it's pretty clear, but I didn't think he played poorly. He just has nothing on his wing, especially when Batherson's not going like this. It's bad. And it makes me think about a guy like Zetterlund. Give him some more minutes, because I actually thought he had some jump, but he never gets a look enough to like sustain it or do it consistently. But I thought Zetterlund at least had a bit of jam. Just nothing from 19. I'm with you.
I'm just pissed off overall tonight. While you were talking there, I just refreshed Twitter and saw the play that gave Brady Tkachuk a 10-minute misconduct. Like,
what happened there? Yeah, we got to talk about that.
He literally just walked over and he wasn't trying to open the door and attack him. He was just saying like, hey, like I didn't like the way you hit me. I thought that was complete bush league by the refs.
I thought we'll talk refs just because I don't think they ended up costing the Sens a win.
It cost me. I had Brady 5 shots. He had 3 in the first period, and then he sat in the friggin' penalty box for 13 minutes in the second period.
But Cousins, Greg, and Tkachuk were their best line all night. And in the middle of the second period, 2 of those guys were in the box for an extended amount of time. Tkachuk didn't touch the ice for 12 minutes, Ross. I don't know if he's
because he went to have a conversation.
Which is not like a when you get a technical or like a misconduct for something, you said something like that crossed the line. Like you crossed the line. And like, why is that getting flagged for a 10-minute and nothing, like just a crazy call. It takes their goal scorer, their captain, one of their best forwards off the ice for half the second period. And then he's kind of out of the game. Like it's frustrating, man. They missed a couple other calls. The call on Clevin was brutal. Even the one that the Sens scored on, like I'll go unbiased here. The one on JBD, the hooking call. I don't even see a penalty there. Like just a bad game from the Stripes.
And then they missed the hook on Edvinsson on Pinto's breakaway.
Yeah, breakaway in his armpit. Like, I mean, I had people in the chat telling me mid-game and people being Red Wings fans that Pinto's arm gets loose and moves the stick a little bit. But you tell me a ref saw that at full speed? No. Your stick is in the armpit. Call something. He's going to get a shot away on a breakaway. Yeah. Anyway, who knows what will happen.
7 points back.
They're 7 points back. I got more on Ullmark.
All right. Why don't we hit that on the other side real quick? And then we got Martian's going to be on in about 5 minutes here. Yeah, get his thoughts, and we'll talk about the reception of the Olympians here as they return to the Canadian Tire Center. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day. Tonight's postcast is brought to you by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you still have to fill is sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Sponsored Jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for, skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute that I've been talking to you, companies like yours have hired 27 people on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend time searching and more time actually hiring by going with Indeed. Less stress, less time, more results when you need the right person. Cut through the chaos. This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Listeners of this show, you'll get a $75 sponsored job credit to help your job get premium placement that it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on Locked On Senators. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. All right, Jack. 2-1 Sens lose in overtime. What do you got for me?
Just back on Ullmark. I think when he gets outplayed, like we got to talk about 35 just not being there right now. It's going to take him time, but like it's not a secret what this team needs. It just needs goaltending. And honestly, they need what they got tonight, but this hasn't been the story. The non-finishing, like they haven't gotten one goal in a game very often this year. Like I'll put it that way, in wins or whatever it is, right? Goal scoring has been a lot better this season overall. Tonight was just frustrating, but goaltending wise, like if it's a rubber match and the other guy's better, like Ullmark's got to be under the microscope, man. And I know that it's grade A chances going in technically, but like we said, that big save just wasn't there enough for them. And I think that breakaway in overtime, like I said, he makes that save, it could go the other way, and he just gets his can opened on a breakaway.
So what I'm going to go here, and I think that it's more so upcoming. Like I'm on to Toronto. Tonight, Linus Ullmark's not the better goalie. John Gibson has been an elite goalie since November. I think he's second in the league in goals saved above expected since November 1st. He's been incredible for them in goal. Well, if you look at the upcoming schedule, Toronto, no. Edmonton, no. Calgary, no. Seattle, no, with all due respect to Joey Decord. And Vancouver, you're not playing a goalie that is supposed to be better than you for basically until they play in front of us when Lucas Dostal's in town with the Anaheim Ducks. This stretch of their 6 upcoming games, you should, statistically, career-wise, and in terms of salary, you should have the better goalie.
Tough road trip overall. Always hard. Every team does this road trip, though, these 4 teams, it seems like. No back-to-backs, though, right? Like,
correct. Their next back-to-back is the 2 games they're going to.
I don't want Reimer touching the ice until those games. And they're locked into him with a contract. He's their starter, clearly. If he plays poorly and he plays in all those games, that's our season, But I want to go down with Linus Ullmark between the pipes. And again, overall, this is not a bad game for him. Like, there wasn't bad goals. It's just he's supposed to be a difference maker back there for them, Ross. He's the guy who should be taking this roster, which I said to Pilsy, like the way they've been playing in the first period especially, they're great. He should be taking this roster to like contender level in a few years or whatever it is. And his play's not there right now, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, very frustrating. Let's go to a man who is boots on the ground tonight. It's our good friend, the Martian. How you doing, man? Been a while.
Hey, brothers. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. We've been waiting for you to talk about we've been waiting for you to talk about the reception for the Olympians. We didn't even mention it. They actually didn't even show it on TSN. I had to see Claire Hanna's tweet with the video, so we didn't see any of it. What was it like in the building? There was a lot of talk leading up to it. What was it?
Yeah, it was interesting, right? I kind of expected them to do this is something that they've definitely done in the past, and a lot of teams do. I don't know if it was maybe just because it's usually Canadians who are, being honored after such a win, but I was expecting something pregame. I was expecting something before the puck dropped, just to say, hey, congratulations to the guys who won gold medals and any medals, really. I mean, they have 3 guys on their team who won those medals, right? Matt and Paolo, and then the 2 Americans, Sanderson and Tkachuk. And I was surprised that they didn't really do that. They didn't do it at the beginning of the game, which is usually when they would do it. It was a little bit of a ceremony, right? Just to say, hey, congratulations to our guys. But nothing like that happened. And then they ended up basically what they did was it was a TV timeout sort of video. And it was just kind of like panning through each Olympian who was representing their country at the Olympics from the Sens. So they did Stützle, they did Eller, they did, and then they kind of eventually got to the American guys. And but it was pretty, if I'm going to be honest, to me, it was a little bit weak sauce, right? You want your guys to feel like they're being, properly, honored for winning an Olympic gold medal. You'd think they would at least have the announcer say, hey, congratulations to Brady Tkachuk and Jake Sanderson for winning a gold medal at the Olympics. These guys are Ottawa Senators, but nothing like that. We got a video that was, just like their photos basically shown during a TV timeout, and the fans kind of reacted however they wanted. And when it got to the American guys, there was obviously a small segment of fans, I think, that, reaction wise to all the politics and everything, involved with that, they, a couple boos here and there, but for the most part, pretty warm reception for all the guys who represent their countries at the Olympics. But yeah, it was it's not really much to say about it. It was just kind of it was just a TV timeout. Like, here's a video honoring. Like, if you had your eyes closed, you wouldn't even know they were doing it.
Crazy. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah, so glad it was good. And any talk about Brady Tkachuk getting a poor reception was quickly put to bed. He was a monster tonight. I thought he was the Senators' best player. I guess we can get to our Sen Central standouts. Like, I thought he was awesome. Unfortunate that he was sitting in the box for the second period. I thought that was a bit of a cheeky 10-minute misconduct given by the refs there, but I thought Brady had a good game overall, scores the goal, had a couple big hits early, was really cycling the puck well in the offensive zone too, working down low. So he'll be my Sen Central standout tonight. Marshy, you want to go up?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, like that was really the main guy that I was going to look to. And Ross, like you said, like people reaction wise to Brady Tkachuk, like I think that got put to rest pretty quickly because he had a few great shifts early on in the game where obviously he ends up scoring the goal, right? And that was a big goal, but a couple times throughout the early in the game where the fans made it known that, you know, he is appreciated. And there was multiple times where it was like full blown Brady chants happening, and I think that's what we needed to do as a fan base, just to let him know, right? Like, yeah, we get it. Like, you won your gold medal as an American, and we weren't cheering for you at that time, buddy. But at that, you know, when you come back and you put on the Senators jersey, you're gonna be honored as a Senator, and we're gonna show you that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You know, we're gonna be proud of you. No matter what, I'll probably if you wanted me to, you know, do you want me to pick my own guy, Ross, or was that your guy, or like how do you want that?
That's good.
You don't really, yeah. I mean, like can we share?
There weren't that many, to be honest. Like there weren't a lot to pick from. I got another guy I can throw to.
Well, yeah, like I'm sure you're looking at the back end, probably, Jack.
Obviously, he was so good, man.
Yeah,
Jake Sanderson's awesome. Like he was awesome. I think he was fresh. He didn't play a lot at the Olympics, but he was flying out there, Martian? Like the way he like calms the play down too. 26-39, which feels low for how often I felt like he was out there. But still a lot of minutes, man. Like he was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he was awesome again. Yeah, like he usually is, right? Like that's just like Jake Sanderson started the game right from the very start, and you could kind of tell he was like, oh, I all of a sudden I feel like I've got a lot of time out here adjusting back to the NHL as a downgrade from the, you know, level of play that he was at for the last week and a half. And you can kind of tell that he was like, wow, I can, you know, if he can dominate at this level. And I think he kind of started to realize that, like, you know, when you're playing the Olympics and you have that less of a half second to make those reaction plays, he looked to me like a guy who was just overly comfortable at times out there. He like 26-39 on ice. It feels like you said, it feels low, but that's a ton of ice time for any defenseman in the National Hockey League. Like he was 3.5 minutes ahead of any other guy on the team as far as ice time goes. So yeah, I mean, he was amazing, man. He always is. He's just, you know, he is silky smooth back there. He's making the right plays left and right. You know, he's constantly creating and defending too. Like his defense game tonight was really good. He had a couple of really good block shots. I thought he was getting in lanes, getting in the way, and also on the offensive side, you know, getting those shots through as well. Like 3 shots on goal for Jake Sanderson, which is pretty on par, I think, for what we expect from him. But he from the start of the game, I was like, holy crap, he looks amazing right now. And it didn't hurt that I don't know what it is, boys. Every time I seem to go to Sens games this season, I've gone to a very good amount. I think I've been to 12 or 13 games already this year. They're wearing the red jerseys every time I go. It's like I haven't missed a single red jersey game yet, I don't think.
We got to talk about their record. Their record in the red jerseys is not pretty. Like I know we went through their overtime record, Martian. Like it's bad at home, man. They're 0-5. I'm sure they're under 500, surely, in the red jerseys. Like, I mean, in the road game too, they got pumped 8-4. That should have been the sign. Their first time wearing it, man. 8-4 in Buffalo on the road. Bad vibes with those jerseys. I do like them though. I do.
I need them to stop wearing them.
They do look
You need them to stop wearing?
Yeah, I do. They can't win in them. It's a joke. And coming out of the break, I haven't watched them play in 3 weeks, and you're going to put your alternates on? Let me see the Blacks.
Okay, well, what happens if they go to Toronto on Saturday and they wear the black helmets with the white jerseys? Ross?
No, I don't want that either. Like, let's just clean it up. Let's just clean it up.
Yeah, let's get back to the basics here. We're white and black.
Man,
I do kind of
like
the
basics. Watching that game, man, we wait 3 weeks for it, and they can't score more than 1 goal. They can't get anything going at 5-on-5, enough to beat John Gibson. It's just so frustrating right now because look, if they were in a playoff spot, this game happens, you wash your hands with it, you move on. But the way they've lost points throughout the season just feels like another kick in the behind the way things are going. So, I mean, Saturday is enormous game against Toronto, eh?
You could,
Must
I mean,
win.
you could put the nail in the coffin of Toronto almost tomorrow. Yeah, it's definitely a must win. But I will say, Ross, too, John Gibson played pretty good tonight. I think that he was solid in the net. But with that being said as well, the Sens did a horrible job of when they had grade A chances hitting the net in the first place. I think they had a lot of really quality chances. Like I look at like in that end of the ice that I was in, Zetterlund had a few really good looks where he just zinged it over the net or off to the side. And even, I mean, look at early in the game that Dylan Cousins chance looked like Nathan McKinnon in the gold medal game where you can't get that thing into the open net. And it's just like, they had their chances where they should have probably put them on the net and they just didn't do it. So Gibson deserves a little bit of credit here, but also the Sens probably need to do a better job of getting shots on goal when they have grade A chances.
Senators are 3-4-2 when wearing the alternate jerseys. Just did a little math on the fly here for Peter, and 3 wins in 9 games now when the Senators are wearing their red alternate jerseys. All right, we got plenty more to get to on Locked On Senators tomorrow, including previewing the weekend. Jack, any final thoughts on the postcast?
Yeah, watching the first NHL game since watching all those Olympic game boys, the CTC ice looked massive to me. I don't know if anyone else felt the same way. I noted it right away with Pilsy on the stream. It felt a lot bigger and just obviously takes some time to get used to. Maybe that's why a guy like Sanderson looked like he had a lot of time and space out there. Same with Tkachuk in the corners. He was a monster. So maybe the Olympians had a bit more room out there. And I was like, whoa, this feels like actual Olympic ice.
Yeah, no, and even just the camera angle, it's so much higher up, and it felt like I got used to the one down low. But yeah, not enough tonight. And Marcia, I don't know if you knew this, but right off top of the show, we mentioned it. Only point getters tonight were all Olympians. It was 2 goals for Larkin, 2 assists for Raymond, an assist for Seider, and then obviously on Ottawa's goal, it was Tkachuk from Sanderson and Stützle. So
yeah,
we need more.
Worse, but not the right.
How close was Claude Giroux's second attempt at that backhand? It would have been so nasty.
That happened right in front of me too, and I happened to be lucky enough to be in the section over from Andlauer, and so when that happened, I kind of gave a little peek over to Michael Andlauer, and he was in shambles as well when that happened because that looked like an automatic. Really close opportunity. That backhand hits that like kind of connector between the crossbar and the post, and that it was a good look from Claude, but just like an inch away from being a sweet goal.
An inch away, the perfect way to sum up tonight's game for the Ottawa Senators. They fall 2-1 to the Detroit Red Wings. Dylan Larkin, one of my least favorite players in the National Hockey League. He's on the ice for the gold medal winning goal, and then he's on the ice for both goals, scoring both of them tonight against the Ottawa Senators. One of these that's not going to feel good waking up to tomorrow, but Ottawa with a chance to really impress on the road where they will play their next 5 straight games starting in Toronto on Saturday. We'll break it all down tomorrow. We'll get Pilsy's thoughts on this game and preview Saturday's game in Toronto, and we will dissect what has to happen for more goals to be inserted in this Senators lineup. For the Martian and Jack Richardson, I'm Ross Levitan. Shout out to the chat for being here after a 2-1 OT loss. We're part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.